Hi, Loaners. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Brandy Romero.
And I'm Carly Ventura.
And we are
the Loaner.Ladies.
This week we're continuing our series with Inspector Allen. Hey! We're talking about the red flags you won't want to ignore on your home inspection. Now, when we say red flags, we don't mean cosmetic repairs. We're talking about the huge issues within a home that could be a deal breaker to you when you're purchasing that new home.
Absolutely. I'm excited for this episode because I'm sure you've seen all kinds of things and I just want to know. So with that being said, is there a home inspection that you've done where the whole house is a huge red flag? And if so, tell us about it. Obviously there is. The juicy deets.
There was a home that I did in Bountiful. The roof was, the whole thing needed to be stripped down. It needed to be replaced. I'm talking the trusses, there were collapsed trusses that needed to be replaced. The foundation had a horizontal crack and multiple walls. It looked like a teardown to me.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
I looked at their shoes when they walked up and I said, you might want to change those shoes. They don't look like you can run in them.
Don't blow too hard towards the house.
Might just blow over.
We're going to go through one at a time.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
That is insane.
That's crazy. With that being said, what are some of the most common red flags that come up for you when you're doing a home inspection?
Common red flags, definitely plumbing, water issues. I see that a lot. Just people don't know that you could use an antimicrobial solution to clean up mold in a bathroom. Or bathrooms that don't have exhaust fans, that aren't venting outside, where you got mold growing on a ceiling. It's easy enough to clean up as long as it's superficial. But the biggest red flags, definitely a roof that needs to be replaced, or an electrical system that... There was one I inspected out in Grantsville. The wiring had literally bubbled up from all the heat that had been going through the service panel. And I told my friends, I said, I'm not going to charge you for this inspection, but we're not going to continue. Don't buy this place.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there have been multiple fires inside that service panel. You can see that the paper...
Multiple fires?
The paper inside this panel was charred from a fire being inside of that panel.
Oh, you don't even know what's going to what anymore because you can't see it.
Right.
Oh
Looking at the deck.
Gosh.
And walking like this.
Wobbling. Wow.
Yeah. With 2x4s going into the ground instead of 4x4s going into a support post or anything. Oh, don't
And
buy
the
that.
list price, $800,000. So, kind of what you touched on a little bit was plumbing, right? So let's talk about the water damage you started talking about. What are some of the red flags or signs of water damage that might suggest structural issues with the home?
Okay, great one. I've found, especially when it comes to horizontal cracks in the foundation, where you get this dark line. You can see the crack and you can see a dark line, but it's got white around that white line. Or around that crack, and you can see that that's effluence. That's from water coming through. That's from water penetrating the foundation, penetrating from the exterior into the interior, and water expands up to 9% when it freezes.
Yikes.
So when you're following that same wall and you're going upstairs and you're seeing cracks above every one of the corners of the doors and the windows, and doors aren't fitting right, they're not closing right, they hit the frame. This house has a lot of issues. Let's bring in a structural engineer and have it evaluated by them and see what they suggest for the repairs.
Awesome. You were talking a little bit about electrical too earlier. So what are some red flags or signs of electrical problems that could be a much bigger issue?
Ooh, there's two good examples I brought.
The bubbling.
The bubbling.
The fires.
The bubbling around the surface. The fires.
The fire.
Just did fire stuff. So I did a townhome and there was a receptacle under the sink for the waste disposal. It's within a foot of the water supply. And it's not GFCI protected.
Oh,
This is double.
my.
The waste disposal is literally plugged into it, and it's not GFCI protected.
Wow.
And
that passed an inspection for somebody to buy that house.
For some crazy reason, that city passed it. Yeah.
Yikes.
And then go into the utility closet, and you got the water supply lines for the washing machine, literally inches away from this receptacle, and it's not protected.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
again, get an inspection, guys.
Yeah.
Those are
Call
some
out.
those are safety hazards, really. You got to
Absolutely.
protect your family.
Even on a new build, huh?
This was a new build.
Wow. Yeah. Protect yourselves, protect your families, all the things. So how about plumbing? What are some red flags or signs of bigger plumbing issues?
Bigger plumbing issues, okay, go down into either new construction or old construction, but when you go down into the lower level of a home where there is a bathroom and you look inside the shower pan and there's like a dark ring and you can tell water's been backing into it,
Ugh.
that's an issue. That needs a sewer scope, right?
Yeah.
You got a home
Oh
that
my
was built in the 50s, 40s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even newer construction, if you can put a sewer scope down that sewer to chase it all the way out, that might save you $10,000, $12,000, $14,000, depends on how long it is,
Yeah, you
right?
just
How long
never
the
know.
run is. But there's a lot of money into that people are not really coherent of.
Yeah.
They don't think about it.
The plumbing issues that they could potentially
Plumbing
have.
issues. A lot of it too is water supply, shut-off valves, right? Most people don't know that you can go into your bathroom and under any sink, you got 2 valves under there for the hot and the cold. Turn them on and off regularly.
I didn't know that. You taught me that.
Yeah, make sure they're working, right?
Yeah, it's called exercising your valves, but most people don't think about something like that.
And that's just a quick on and off.
On off, that's
Awesome.
it. Right? But it keeps them from, so that they don't calcify and lock into a certain position that they won't turn off.
Gotcha. Thank you for that tip. I didn't know that.
Another thing you can do is in your wherever there's a water supply, if you take a flashlight and you shine it across the surface, you can see if there's bubbling, right?
Oh, so if there's a leak or
Oh.
something like
Yeah,
that.
if there's a leak, you can pick it up just with a simple flashlight on that panel, that bottom panel under the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink. And you
Wow.
can see if there's bubbling.
I'm going to be
love
checking
that.
that out when I get home. Where's our
Go get your
flashlight?
flashlight.
Let's talk about roofs. What are some red flags about roofs that you just see frequently or that are just your favorite?
Your favorite red flags.
My favorite red flags? Well, for safety, I definitely wouldn't say it's the roofs where you get up on it and you're like, man, I really should have gone into the attic and looked for support before I got in this roof because I am terrified right now.
A little scary up there.
Cupping, if the shingle's cupped up, if it's curled, if it's curling up, cracked, torn, missing, or a patch job that someone got up
Patch
there.
job
and
gone wrong.
Patch job's gone wrong. I've seen a
Botched.
lot of that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, patches. Yeah, definitely. But your asphalt shingle is 20, 25 years typical lifespan, right?
Wow.
Your metal roofs, some people don't prefer them, but if you can get 50 or more years out of a roof, that's a pretty good material.
Wow,
50.
that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a Lumalock roof. It's all aluminum metal roof, but the plus 50 years.
Wow.
something like
Dang.
that. A lot of things, especially since we live in this climate, is like the outer feet on a roof, the overhang, if you will, where the soffit and the eaves are. There's no insulation in there, and so there's ice damming.
Yep.
Utah runs into that quite a bit. So running those heat
Had an
tapes
experience
on
with
the outer feet for the heat with the heating element definitely helps out with that.
So, loners, what Alan is trying to say is that ignoring red flags can result in more significant problems and expenses in the long run. So, every home is going to have their issues, and most of the time, it can be remedied, it can be fixed. However, being proactive and addressing the red flags is essential for the overall well-being and value of the property. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan.
So
My
much for
pleasure.
sharing your insights on the critical aspects of the home inspections.
Thanks for having me.
If you are ready for your home inspection, reach out to Inspector Allen today. His contact info will be in the description below. Give him a call. That's going to be a wrap on today's episode. Please don't forget to reach out to the Loaner.Ladies when you're looking to purchase or refinance a home. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we'll be talking about the green flags of a home inspection. That's what we like. And hopefully that will help you make a decision as to whether or not the house that you're looking at is your new home. As always, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any Loaner.Ladies episodes or any current market updates. And with that, see you later, loners.